Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become.
Well, good morning, everybody, on this fantastic Faith-Filled Friday. I'm delighted you've joined us this morning. We've made it to the end of another week, and I trust and pray it's been a great week for you. It's been a great week here on Morning Mocha, if I have to say so myself. And you've made it through this week, and since you made it, instead of complaining, why don't you just give God praise, give him thanks, be grateful to him. Thank you, all of you that are my first time viewers this morning. I want to give you a good morning mocha welcome. Welcome to the family. I hope this won't be your last time joining us. To those over on my Facebook page, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us as well. Well, I want to get right into talking about what I want to share with you this morning. Well, before I do that, let me make mention of the fact that on last night, the NFL draft kicked off, and what is really occurring right now for a lot of young men is that they're finally gotten to the point where they're going to realize some of their hopes and dreams that they've had since their childhood. A lot of young men, at least 32 names were called last night, notifying them that they were drafted by an NFL team. They're about to start their professional career. And one of the things that I heard from a lot of the athletes when they were interviewed after being selected, they talked about their gratitude toward their families, those that supported them. And most all of them mentioned their gratitude to their coaches that coached them, that trained them, that helped them along the way. And quite naturally, it got me to thinking, man, this is another example of how beneficial coaching can be. Can you imagine where some of these guys would be if they never submitted to a coach, if they didn't allow someone to come alongside them and work with them and train them and help them to find the best version of themselves as it pertains to football. Can you imagine where they would be? They would still be out there dreaming, so to speak, because one of the things that I've come to understand about dreams, if in order for them to come to pass, preparation must take place. If you're going to ever meet up with success, you must be prepared to meet with success. You must prepare yourself on the way to becoming successful. And that's what a coach does. Now, again, that's what life coaching does for those who will engage the services of life coaching. You may feel like you don't need it, but how much further do you believe that you can get if you were to engage a life coach? Someone that'll walk alongside of you. And I'm always telling you about your blind spots, someone to help you to identify some of your blind spots and overcome some of your weaknesses, if you will, and just put you on the right track toward your destination, your destiny, if you will. It helps. It matters. It makes a difference. And the question that you have to ask yourself when contemplating whether or not you want to engage the services of a life coach, you need to ask yourself, what are you worth? Are you worth investing in yourself? And that's a good question. Are you worth investing in yourself? When you spend the money, the time, and the energy to improve yourself and to get or gain the wisdom that you need to help you to continue to move forward, that's nothing more than an investment in yourself. And you have to ask yourself, am I worth the investment? And I would hope that your answer to that question would be, of course I am. You're worth whatever it takes to get you where you want to be. You're worth whatever it takes to fulfilling your dreams and seeing your visions come to pass. You are worth it. And if you don't believe you're worth it, my question to you is, why do you feel you're not worth it? It's just something to think about. Yeah, of course. I would encourage you to go to my website and check out my website. And if you're going to give really serious consideration to engaging my services as a life coach, give me a call. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's have a consultation. The consultation is free, but the coaching is for fee. I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's just a reality. It's just a reality. I have a few clients that could tell you, it's been very beneficial for them to engage the services. And I'm telling you, I can tell you there are a few that have engaged my services, and they're well on their way to fulfilling their hopes and their dreams. Well, let's get down to what I really want to talk to you about today. I don't know how many of you have noticed the title for today's discussion, but if you haven't noticed it, let me share it with you. If you're not willing to fight, then don't fuss. Plain and simple. If you're not willing to fight, then don't fuss. Most people, if questioned about whether they are a person of conviction or not, would claim that they are definitely a person of conviction. Some would even say that they have strong convictions about certain issues that pertain to life. Now, this might upset some of you, but I find people to have more complaints than they have convictions. And the sad thing is, most people really don't know the difference between the two. Some people think that they are expressing their convictions when they're doing nothing more than complaining. This is one of those times I want to give you the academic definitions between of the two different words, rather, wherein you can see the difference. The word complaint is defined as expression of grief, pain, or dissatisfaction. Hone in on that one right there. Expression of grief, pain, or dissatisfaction. Something that is the cause or subject of protest or outcry. That's the definition of complaint. The definition of conviction is a strong persuasion or belief. A strong persuasion or belief. If you're strongly persuaded by something or you strongly believe in something, that classifies or qualifies as a conviction. So let's start with this. And I want everybody to hear me real good, plain and simple. Nobody likes a whiner. Why don't you just say that out loud right where you are so you can hear yourself say it? Nobody likes a whiner. Why don't anybody like whiners? Because whiners are irritating. Whiners are annoying. Whiners are simply fussers who simply love to fuss. Whiners are always dissatisfied with something, with anything. They'll find things to whine or complain about. That's just their nature. Whiners are never satisfied with anything. Whiners never have solutions for their dissatisfaction. How many of you know any whiners? Better still, are you a whiner yourself? Some of you may be unconscious whiners. It's just built into you to whine or to complain about something. And some of you can find the smallest things to whine, fuss, or nag about. And for some of the people who are very close to you, you're just annoying. You're just irritating. Now, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about those other people who are going to view this later, who this applies to. Y'all my good audience. Y'all don't have those issues or those problems. But if we did have someone, if someone did kind of slip in and snuck in this morning into the group that's a whiner or a complainer, and I'm talking to you, don't get offended. Just listen. You might just learn something. You know, whiners act as though they think someone other than themselves are responsible for resolving their dissatisfaction. They're blamers. They blame other people for every problem that they experience in life. And I'm telling you, once again, they are just annoying people. I repeat, nobody likes a whiner. Furthermore, nobody respects a whiner. But on the other hand, conversely, most people at least respect people of conviction. People of conviction are not just willing to voice their conviction, but they're willing to stand on their convictions as well. People of convictions are not afraid to own their convictions, and they're determined to live by their convictions. People of conviction are willing to defend their convictions despite what it may cost them. That's a true person of conviction. People of conviction are, in most cases, fighters and not just fussers. They are people of action and not just noise makers. And I find it's easy to find both fussers and fighters in every area, every arena of life. They exist in the public sector as well as the private sector. You don't have to look long to find a whiner. You don't have to look long to find a fusser. You don't have to look long really either to find a fighter. You just need to be in the right place around the right people. And let me say this while I'm here. Be selective about who you choose to hang out with. You know, Don't be that person who's only hanging out with fussers, because if you're not a fusser and you hang out with fussers, before long you're going to become a fusser yourself. If you're not a whiner and you hang out with whiners, before long you're going to become a whiner yourself. Be selective. You have the right to be selective. You should be selective. You should value yourself, your own character, who you are, the atmosphere, the environment that you desire to hang out in. You should respect that so much that you should only want to be around people of conviction rather than people who are full of complaints. Let me also say while I'm here too, I mentioned a few minutes ago that some people are unconscious fussers. They're fussing all the time and they don't know it. They don't even realize they're fussing as much as they are. They're whining as much as they are. It has become such a natural form of communication for them that, they're, oblivious to it. But here's the issue. People around you, when you're that type of person, when you're always whining and fussing and all that kind of thing, the people around you notice it. And it is very irritating to them. Sometimes you need to pay close attention to how people respond to you when you're trying to communicate with them. A good place to test the waters with regards to whether you're a whiner, a complainer, or just a person of conviction. Test the waters right there in your own home among your family members. How do your family members respond to you? How do they react when you're saying things? Do you find yourself constantly correcting your family members, criticizing your family members? Are you that person, whether you be the woman of the house or the man of the house, who's always complaining about every little thing simply because things are not constantly meeting up to your standards? And I know some of you might boast and brag, stating that I'm just a person of order and I believe in things being in order and I want my home to be in order. I want things to be kept this way. I want things to be kept that way. I want things to be turned a certain way. I want the towels and the sheets to be folded a certain way. And if you're not going to do it the way I want you to do it, then you're going to meet with my wrath. I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to let you get away with anything. Is your favorite phrase in your home? Watch that. Think about it. Think about it. Some of you are such whiners and complainers that you literally don't give the people around you a break. They hate to see you coming and they love to see you leave. That's a major issue when people can't stand to be in your presence simply because you've always got a complaint. There's always some kind of complaint in your mouth. And the bad part about whiners and fussers and complainers, those that complain all the time, they can always see the fault in everybody else, but they can never see the fault in themselves. And that's bad. Again, it's easy to find those kind of people. You don't have to look hard or long. You're surrounded by them probably likely 7 days a week. But again, here's what some people don't understand. Fussing is pointless. It really is. Fussing is pointless. But fighting for a purpose, that's what's productive. And a lot of you have wasted a lot of your time fussing, and you're not getting anything done. It's pointless. Even when you think that you're having a positive impact on people. Well, I'm getting them to do what I want them to do. I'm getting things in order here. I'm getting things straight. But are you positively impacting that individual's life? Now, don't get me wrong. It is necessary to have order and discipline, especially when it comes to children. But if you marry, you can't raise your spouse. That's already been done. And that's when some of your fussing becomes pointless. You would do much better to become more persuasive. How do you do that? How do you become more persuasive with an individual, thereby helping them to line up? And that's a bad word to use. That's a bad phrase, but I can't think of anything else now. But to get them to line up more with your desires. You don't do it by fussing. You do it more so by requesting and then acknowledging or expressing your appreciation when they are willing to do what you're requesting or asking them to do. Adults don't like to be told to do anything. They freed themselves from that when they became adults and left the covering of their parents' home. So when you enter into a relationship with someone, when you enter into a marriage with someone, just know this, and this goes for male or female. It is not your responsibility to raise your spouse. You can't make a person do what you want them to do. So your fussing is pointless. And even if they do what you want them to do, most of the time it's for the sake of having you to shut your mouth. They just don't want to hear your noise. Now, it's awful narrow-minded and immature if you're saying, well, at least I'm getting them to do what I want them to do. But what kind of impact is it leaving on them? What are they going to think about you moving forward? What is their perception of you? Do they feel good about you, or are they feeling bad about you all the time? And if a person starts to feel ill about you, that's when distance starts to be created. I didn't mean to get all off into that right there, but I think somebody needs to hear this. This right here can be applied to marriage 101. It's just a matter of respecting one another as adults. But then when you desire cooperation, there's a way to approach the situation that would garner cooperation rather than pushback. You know, sometimes it's not what you're asking for, but how you're going about asking for it, which in reality, you're not really asking for it, you're demanding it. And I'll say it again, adults don't like to be told what to do. Adults don't like demands placed on them. And a lot of that comes in the form of fussing. They would much rather have requests be made of them. And I'm telling you, this is one of the earliest lessons that most of us learned, or at least should have learned in life, is that when you're desiring someone to do something for you, the magic word is what? Please. How about that? Please. You know, sometimes we can get so comfortable in a relationship that we feel like it's no longer necessary to say please. I can honestly say, and I believe First Lady will attest to this, that anytime I request anything of her, you notice I use the word request. Anytime I request anything of her, anytime I ask her to do anything for me. It starts with the word can. My request starts with the word can. And it comes out like this. Can you, watch this, here's that other word, please do this, that, and the other for me. If I phrase it another way, it'll be, hey, will you please? Will you please? You know, that sends the signal that I already know that I'm not necessarily entitled to what I'm asking for. I don't have that entitlement mentality, but I'm making a request and leaving myself at the mercy of her honoring that request. And it doesn't come off fussy. Now, let me tell you, let me hear what it would sound. Let me let you hear what it would sound like if it were to come off fussy. Hey, you need to do such and such and such a thing. You need to do this, that, and the other. And even sometimes when you're using the word can and please, your tones can make a difference as well. You know what? I really didn't mean to get all off into that like that. But again, I need to get back to where I was talking about the difference between complaining and having a conviction, because that kind of set the tone for how you engage other people in life. And that's important. How you engage other people can make the difference or determine whether you succeed in life or fail in life. And I'll say it one more again. Nobody likes a whiner. Nobody likes a complainer. But people have a tendency to respect those who have convictions. Listen, if something is not worth fighting for, then neither is it worth fussing about. Plain and simple. Again, let's apply this principle to your personal life. I find that a lot of people waste a great deal of time whining, complaining, fussing about what they're dissatisfied with in their personal life. Let me be very blunt with you right here. When you're complaining about what you're dissatisfied in your personal life, answer this question. Who cares? Who cares what you're dissatisfied with in your personal life? Most of the time, the only person that cares about that is you. And the only person that enjoys hearing about that is you. When you're always fussing, complaining, whining, whatever category it fits into, the reality is nobody's listening. You know, oftentimes I run into people and they'll ask me, "Hey, how you doing?" And I say, "Hey, you know what? I can't complain." And every time I say that, every time I get the response, "Well, nobody's listening anyway." That's kind of almost a social consensus. When people are whining and complaining, nobody's listening. See, the first thing you need to realize is everybody got their own sets of problems. They've got their own personal dissatisfactions. And why should they be bothered with yours when they have enough of their own to deal with? Whiners, complainers, fussers literally have a way of repelling people, repulsing people. People just want to get away from you. They hate to see you coming. They already know what your your regular routine is all about. No matter how you greet them, no matter what's going on, you're going to find something to complain about. I mean, think about circles of friends. You know, sometimes, depending on how large the circle is, sometimes there's always just one somebody. I don't care what the group decides to do. It's not what they want to do. It's not good enough for them. They don't like this and they don't like that. And those kind of people, if you let them hang around too long, they just become a killjoy for the entire group. And then the group started having secret meetings and not including the whiner and the fusser. They start planning activities that doesn't include the whiner and the fusser. And the problem is, once the whiner and the fusser figures out that they're being excluded, now they got another issue. They got another complaint. They got another problem. You know, they can't be satisfied. And if you were to tell them what the real deal is with regards to you no longer wanting them to be involved, they will deny it from sun up to sundown. That's not me. Not me. They're oblivious to what the real problem is. But no one wants to hear your whining or your complaining. Nobody's going to listen to it. I think I've shared this story with you before. Years ago, growing up in my dad's church, there was an individual in the church that every time I would greet that individual, they always had a complaint. And they would go from head to toe, almost literally rather, pointing out everything that's not good with them. You know, how you doing today? Oh, my head hurts, my back hurts, my arm's not doing so well. Man, this leg, I can't get it to act right. Yada, 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 yada. On and on and on. I'm telling you, every time I would greet this individual, and I just got fed up with it. And the individual that I was greeting like this, that I was encountering, was much older than myself. I would venture to say that he was old enough to at least be my grandfather. And some of you might be saying, well, he might have had really true, genuine complaints. Okay, if you say so. But I didn't feel like that was the case. And so one day I decided that I'm going to put an end to this. At least he's going to know that I'm not trying to hear it anymore. I greeted him on this particular day, and he started in, well, you know, I've been feeling, I said, no, wait, stop. No. I said, the only thing that I want to hear from you is God is good and I feel fine. I said, because as long as you're confessing those things, you're going to feel exactly the way you say you feel. This is what I told him. I said, you need to just start praising God and thanking God that your life is as well as it is, because it could be a lot worse. And he said to me, oh, okay, Tony. All right, I'm gonna try that. And lo and behold, the next time I encountered him and I asked him how he was doing, he said, you know what? I'm actually feeling pretty good today. and so no longer did I have to endure his whining sessions. I no longer had to listen to him complaining about this, that, and the other. You know, I really came to the conclusion that all those ailments that he thought he had were more in his mind than anything. Sometimes the things that you're fussing and complaining about, they're more in your mind than anything. Kenyon Ramsey, I agree with you. We need to learn how to just speak life. Every time you're levying a complaint, especially about trivial things, you're speaking death upon your own life rather than speaking life upon your life. Speak life to your life. No one wants to hear all that other nonsense. Listen, whenever you find yourself fussing, whining, and complaining, stop and ask yourself the $1 million question. Here it is. What am I going to do about it? If you're going to do all of this whining, fussing, and complaining, you need to have a solution, or at least be seeking a solution for these situations that ails you. If you're so dissatisfied with situations and conditions of your life, what are you going to do to change your situation? What are you going to do that will get you out of that dungeon, if you will, of complaining? That imprisonment that keeps you complaining about every little thing that you feel is not right with your life. What are you going to do? Are you willing to fight through some things? Better still, are you willing to fight for some things? Oh, $1 million questions. And you need to be honest with your answers. And as you're being honest with yourself, as you're having this come to Jesus moment with yourself, hopefully a new conviction will set in your spirit, and you'll be determined to make things happen that will turn your situation around, that will help to change your attitude. And sometimes it takes fighting for what you desire. Now, mind you, anytime you're willing to engage in a fight, you're going to have to be willing to and tough enough to take a few blows. Wow. Some people say they don't mind engaging in a fight, but they're afraid to get hit. You're going to have to be willing to take a few blows in life. Sometimes you just need to learn how to tough it out. Instead of levying a complaint about a situation, how about expressing a conviction that demonstrates your determination to move forward, keep progressing, and enjoy the better part of life, the best parts of life. In other words, you start to capitalize on what's already good. You change your focus. I'm gonna stop focusing on this negative stuff, and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight with everything that is within me to redirect my focus, to change my actions with the intent of getting different results in life. I'll acknowledge the fact that when you decide to do things like this, those things can become really uncomfortable for you. But if you're willing, or if you're not willing to deal with the discomfort, then really you don't have a right to fuss. If you're not willing to make some changes in your life, you don't have a right to fuss. If you're not willing to do something different, you don't have a right to fuss. If you're not willing to get in the fight, you don't have a right to fuss. I've encountered it too many times in private life, public life, ministry life, you name it. I've experienced it. People want to complain, but they're not willing to show up for the fight. They fuss, but not willing to show up for the fight. Wow. And then they wonder why everything around them seems to be falling apart. Now, if you're going to engage in a fight, at least be selective and use wisdom in deciding exactly what's worth fighting for. Some things are not fighting for, but then they're not worth fussing about. Man, that can fill the atmosphere with peace right there within itself. That right there, having that type of principle by which you live can totally change the atmosphere around you. Yeah, it can. It can set you on a totally different course in life. I'm going to choose my battles. That's how some people would say it. I'm going to make the determination as to what's worth fighting for and what's not worth fighting for. I'm going to make the determination as to what I'm going to expend my time and energies on. Be wise about it. Be selective with it. If you're not going to fight, then please, for the sake of yourself and everyone else around you, please don't fuss. I'm telling you, because people will label you. People don't mind labeling you. They'll say in a minute, they're just annoying. They are just irritating. It becomes bad. It's really bad when people get to the point where they just hate to hear the sound of your voice, whether you're complaining or not. You can say good morning, and some people be thinking in their spirit, oh, brother, here it comes. Wait for it. Y'all know that happens. I don't want y'all to put no names up on the screen or anything that nature. But some of you, some people immediately come to mind. You have a perpetual whiner in your life, a perpetual fusser, a perpetual complainer who won't take action on anything themselves. Wow. I would just suggest to you, don't you be that person. What's the phrase that they use? Not that I would ever be looking to draw flies or bees or whatever. They say you draw more with honey. Okay, whatever. Let me put it to you like this. Let me break it down for you like this. You draw more positive people and you experience more positive things. If you choose not to whine, if you choose not to fuss, but rather you choose to fight for your convictions, make sure your convictions are wholesome. Make sure that they're honorable. That's it, y'all. I'm done. That's all I have for today. That's all I have for the week. You can draw more bees with honey. Okay, that's it, Kathy. I know somebody was going to straighten me out on that. But once again, I don't even know why people would want to draw bees unless you got a bee farm, unless you're trying to produce honey yourself. Okay. Y'all know me. I just think differently from a lot of people, I believe. I think outside the box. I know some of you all listen to me and say, where does he get this line of thinking from? I'm just a thinker. I'm just a thinker. And I know to some people, my thoughts are not that profound. Well, bless you. They're mine. I like them. I'm not complaining about it. Did y'all catch that? I'm not. All right, you wonderful people. For those of you that are part of our Canaan Worship Center family, I certainly want to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you this Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Be in the house. Be in the house. Some of you all showed up for Resurrection Sunday and then you took another Sunday off. All right. Let's get back in the house. Let's get back in there consistently. There are some awesome things that are taking place at Canaan Worship Center. Or there are some things that are in the works that we're planning for the congregation this year. And we want you to definitely be a part of our ministry as we work to rebuild the ministry. Rebuild. I believe every ministry across the globe is going through some form of rebuilding as a result of this pandemic. Now, some of them might say, well, no, we're not. Well, you're making some type of adjustments. I know you have. Whatever ministry you may be giving leadership to or are a part of. Okay. We're all in a rebuilding mode, and we're rebuilding. We're certainly rebuilding the Canaan Worship Center, and we want you to be a part of the rebuild. Those of you that may be looking for a wonderful church home, a wonderful church family, Canaan is the place. I promise you, Canaan is the place. 5333 East Bannister Road, Kansas City, Missouri. And yes, we still require masks, and we're still a bit distanced. So we're still just trying to stay safe. I'm going to be satisfied when the numbers get down to 0. Oh, Lord. Some of you might be saying, well, you'll never be satisfied. Well, I speak faith. I speak life. I speak positivity. That's what I'm believing for. All right. God bless you all. And as I often tell you, my desire, my hope, and my prayer is that you would have a blessed, wonderful, and even prosperous rest of your weekend. Until Sunday morning, God bless you.